Hi, I'm Ultra David. This is the Tuesday show.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going?
So, we're going to talk about hacking, leaks, etc. in Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
We'll also talk about some character reviews. We have played a little bit more of Street Fighter V this past weekend at the Canada Cup.
Mm-hmm.
We'll also talk a little bit about some Marvel stuff, some changes going on in there. And then, of course, we'll recap UltraChenTV and Canada Cup, and then there's a bunch of game news to get to, including a fantastic trailer in all its 360p might.
We'll try to show it here on the stream so everyone can be wowed together.
Yeah, we'll even show the actual HD 60 frames per second one. And,
which for some reason starts really terribly. Anyways.
Whatever.
It ends really terribly. Anyway.
We'll make sure to take a look at that. But let's start with the hacking thing.
Yes, let's talk about Street Fighter hacking. And so recently, this morning, it was this morning, right? I mean, look, news has been trickling out little by little. One of the most recent things, for example, they showed the color palettes for all the characters. They actually leaked all the color palettes for the characters. And some of those color palettes are really sick, by the way. There's some sick colors in there.
I'm with you.
But, I mean, that was just kind of a minor thing, right? It's just like, whatever, you know. And today, however, a lot more was leaked. And they basically, apparently found a bunch of encrypted files. They were able to decrypt them because they did not decrypt them with,
encrypt them.
And they did not encrypt them with a custom string. Like, they encrypted them with, like, a default that everyone guessed, and it worked. And so, pretty much, they were able to decrypt everything. So, they did try to hide stuff on their code for the PC. They tried very badly.
Right.
And so it all got hacked. All the audio files, a bunch of audio files got leaked.
Right.
Audio files which include all the character names as well as a bunch of dialogue talking about different events that are coming up or just
like naming different events.
Right, like Evolution,
right.
CEO, Final Round, you know.
And their location, like Hype Spotting Scotland and
right.
KO Fighting Game Festival Kuwait. Yeah, it a bunch of stuff like that. Do you want to mention the characters' names?
What's that?
Do you want to say the characters?
It's up to you. You can
say why not? All right. So there's Fan or Fun. It sounds like she's saying Fun to me. Then Alex and Guile and Ibuki and Bison, presumably Boxer. And then Urian.
Yep.
Urian.
Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I was talking about it a little bit today on Twitter, and somehow it blew up. But basically, I was just like, good job, guys. Now you're going to make sure that we're never going to get PC betas again. LOL. And I guess that's not how it sounded at all. I guess it sounded like, good job, guys. Now we're never going to get any PC betas ever again. Ha! And, dude, you don't understand. Like, normally, I let tweets like this rock. Right, I'll actually just let them rock. Whatever, it's out there. I had to delete this tweet because the kinds of responses I was getting were unlike anything I'd ever gotten before.
Really?
Like, it wasn't even just straight up hate. Like, if it was hate, I'd leave it there because then it's just like, okay, you're an idiot, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But seriously, like, I wasn't even that emotional about it, but a lot of the tweets I got were like super emotional. And then I even got private messages, not on Twitter. Like, I literally had one message that was sent to me and Ono.
Okay.
And was begging the two of us to reconsider and not ever, and to keep putting out PC releases.
Oh.
Like, that's how serious...
Like, that person thought that, A, you were serious, and B, you have some role play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of the level that it was starting to get. You were on Best of 3 on Daily Dot earlier today.
I was.
They showed the tweet on the show.
They did.
Like, as a serious post. You know, like, this is the serious post. And I got so many responses from people on Twitter like, why are you blaming the hackers? Why are you blaming the data miners? And I'm like, I didn't blame the data miners. It wasn't my intention.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, that sucks.
I was just like, holy crap, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I had to delete the tweet.
Yeah.
It had to go away, so, yeah. I don't know how to joke on Twitter. My tweets are all too serious, so I can't do goofy tweets.
Ono does know who you are.
I know he knows. Yeah. Exactly. But
anyway, clearly that's silly.
So
but what are your real thoughts on this?
I mean, I think one. A lot of people were like, "Why are you blaming the hackers? You should blame Capcom for being stupid and having all the files in there."
Okay.
Right. And one of the things that I'll say about that is a lot of that's kind of an unrealistic thing to say. As much as it is to be wrong to blame the hackers, which I'm not doing, because data mining was going to happen 100%.
Sure.
And it sounds like they did try to encrypt some of the files. They just did it poorly.
Yeah.
Right? Other companies have hidden data a lot of times and successfully, like Blizzard and Riot and all those guys like that, right? So Capcom has never really done anything much on PC before, right? So they're not ready for this, right? So whatever measures they're coming up with is not going to work. 2, taking out the files, simply taking out the files for the beta is not an actual option. Because if you're beta testing your own beta code, once it's done and then you go and say, let's just remove all the files, you have to certify that thing all over again because you don't know what that did. Especially for a company as big as Capcom, I can almost guarantee you there is not a single person in that company that knows which files to take out. Like, if you went and asked someone, like, get rid of all the files, they would literally have to go to every department. Did you put in files with names? Did you put in files with names? And some of them would be like, I don't remember. They were putting placeholders for everything.
Has this happened to you in your work? It sounds like you have some experiences.
Look, I remember when Seth tried to go and get the change list for Super Street Fighter 4. That's exactly what he had to do. He had to go to everybody who was making changes and be like, hey, what were your changes? And they're like, I don't remember. I think I changed this.
Dang.
And that was pretty much the process that he had to go, right? So Capcom doesn't have the experience with this. They should have had it since the beginning. They should have had everything set up in the beginning to replace files with dummy files and everything like that from the get-go. Koryukin, even messaged me, was saying set if defs, that's a kind of a programmer thing. If it's set to beta, you automatically have certain things happen to it. They weren't ready for any of that. They weren't ready for that. And if you pull all these files out of it, like I said, you could break the beta in ways that you can't possibly imagine. Literally, their best bet was to hire a hacker to come in, get their beta, and have him hack it and try to find all the files so they know what to take out. Then they'd have to take it out. Then they'd have to spend another week or two certifying that build to make sure that it still works. And then they could release it. It wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? So that's my argument to the whole concept of Capcom shouldn't have put the files there.
Fair enough.
They'll learn. Hopefully that they won't fall into a lot of these same problems again. Hopefully they will create a department that's specifically for beta tests and such like that. Still sucks that it happened, but it's going to happen. Like we said, there's just no way to stop it.
Yeah, I think that's true. My reaction to it is a mix. It's a mix of sadness and maybe not happiness, but acceptance.
Right.
Sadness because I feel like we won't get the cool process of unveiling a new character, which is fun. I really think that that's fun. And we've talked about this before, with the lore leak and so forth. The potential trolling and hilarity that was given up, and it's the same thing with these characters. So I feel sad about that. I also feel that it's Capcom's fault.
Yeah.
And that people do and should hack and do whatever they can
right.
in any circumstance that they can. Both can and should.
Right.
So so that's the side of me that's it's I'm not stoked about it, but it's that's there you go. I wish that we had better, I guess, protection by Capcom for this stuff, so it didn't come up. But, since it's out, I mean, it's a pretty good bet, I guess, that these characters will be in there. Although, keep in mind that for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, when somebody data mined it, it said that there would be Dr. Octopus in, like, the next version. And that didn't happen. So, maybe not all of these characters will be in there. Maybe some characters will be in there that are not listed in this. That's very difficult to tell, but it does seem likely to me that some of these characters will be in there. I mean, it's sort of, you mentioned this before we went live, but it's like weird that Guile wasn't already announced anyway.
As soon as Nash was announced, I was like, Guile has to be in, and then he never showed up.
And they've, Alex is in that one background, and they even addressed Alex. They were like, oh, well, if people like it, maybe we'll think about it, doing this whole song and dance. So it seems pretty likely that he'll be in there. Ibuki is always popular. Boxer has been in every Street Fighter type game, so that makes sense. Urien is one of the most popular Third Strike characters as well, so that makes sense too. It's very believable things.
I mean, here's the thing: like during the course of Street Fighter V, a lot of the character reveals have been surprises. You know what I mean? Like outside of maybe knowing a few names or whatever like that. But it's like when Karen was announced, it was like, that's so cool that Karen's in the game. When Mika was announced, it's like, that's so cool, Mika's in the game. When DeCapre was announced, right? Maybe not that so cool because it was just a doll clone or whatever like that. But no one knew about it. And it was cool to find out about the character. So a lot of people are like, so what's the big deal of leaks, right? What if they had planned character reveals at premiere events? What if they were like, final round gets a character reveal, Evo gets a character reveal, CEO gets a character reveal? Well, now part of that hype is killed, you know what I mean? It's going to hurt them, like, for people trying to tune in onto the streams and stuff like that. You might have gotten a few extra people trying to come here to find out who the character is, Or what if you had a deal with IGN? IGN was supposed to release, GameSpot was supposed to release these characters. There's a lot of repercussions to it that a lot of people don't understand.
That's
you know what I mean? So it's not just, I hate that Capcom is hiding this stuff from us. It's a process. It's a strategy, right? And for Street Fighter V, they've maintained hype pretty good so far because they release a character every month. You know what I mean? Kind of at that rate a little bit.
More or less.
And, they've kept up the hype and stuff like that. So to me, it's just a lot of people are like, haha, take that, Capcom, you're stupid. But, at what point do you, is there any empathy for them? Is there any empathy for them, or are they just stupid for using a default encryption password?
I have empathy for them because most of the people involved had nothing to do with that stuff. Like, I'm thinking about like Matt D, director of whatever his position is officially woke up today and he probably had plans to do whatever. If these characters are in there, he was probably working on plans, or maybe he already had plans about how to announce this stuff. And he woke up today and everybody knows about him already. So he has to go back and redo those plans. That sucks. I do have empathy for them.
Right.
And I'm sure that they are way more angry about it than anybody. Especially because it was ultimately their own fault. They're all savvy internet folks. Okay? Don't think of them as being like, oh man, these stodgy old Capcom USA people. No, they're not. So I'm sure that they, in seeing that there were hacks, they're not going to say, oh man, these darn hackers, if only kids these days would stop it. No, it's part of doing business, and you sort of have to think about it in advance. And I'm sure that they had nothing to do with the files being in there, at all. So that sucks for them. But that's ultimately it's their company's fault. I mean, it's not like their human fault, but it's their company's fault. So
yeah, I mean that was the thing too. I wasn't trying to assign blame to anyone on the tweet. I was just saying. Kind of joking, but a little bit half joking too, because it might really affect it. You never know. Maybe they're like, dang, this PC thing is too hard. Even though they can hack everything else, it's just that much easier.
Right. I mean, like I said, on Marvel 3, it did get data mined.
Cross-teching got data mined, right? But that one got data mined after the game came out. It got data mined literally on day one. right? But
it was released already, yeah.
Yeah. It was
Although
released
with new info.
Yeah, and they found all the information on disk, which was sad.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just that there's a lot to the process. And, you know, we've been talking about for a long time before the Laura leak and before the Dhalsim leak and all this stuff, how we were like, wow, they're doing a really good job hiding all these characters. Like, they're doing really good.
We were
and
saying
we're so proud of them for doing such a good job. And then it just all fell apart.
They were running a tight ship.
Yeah.
For a while there. They were running a pretty tight ship, but not anymore.
Because I wonder how they also feel too. Because they all know that there's those hacked PC versions sitting out there. That
we talked about it with Hans this weekend.
Yeah,
he knows about it. Yeah,
I know.
Again, like they're not some stodgy old folks. Like they know about stuff.
But see, I mean, when you do all stuff like that, it could hurt a lot of things for the future. You know what I mean? And yes, it is Capcom's fault. But again, I don't want to put blame on anyone. If I had to put any blame on anyone, it would be Capcom's fault, right? Because data mining is going to happen. Hacking is going to happen. Yeah. You're not going to stop any of that. It's just, like I said, they have plans. And if this kind of stuff happens, Capcom has two choices, right? Let's spend a bunch of money to hire a bunch of hackers or to go and rework the code and do all these things so we can prevent this. Or let's not release it on PC. Right? And obviously you can data mine a bunch of other things. It's a little harder to data mine the other ones, but for a company like that, maybe it's not the Capcom USA guys who get to make that choice. Maybe it's Capcom Japan.
Right.
Maybe it's the old people there that do not understand
it. You're right. Yeah.
Because we've heard stories before of like Cross Tekken, like they're not going to hack this. That's not possible. And it got hacked on hour one, right? I mean, you never know. So if it's these old people that are making the decisions, they'll be like, well, don't release it on PC anymore then. No more betas on PC for you. You know what I mean? So
is it confirmed that it was from the PC version?
Oh, yeah.
These hacks are from the PC version?
Yeah. Okay. Well, because the thing is, once you've installed the files, you just copy them, and then you can just do whatever the hell you want.
I guess I'm wondering.
So
I don't know. Things get hacked on the consoles too. So.
Right. So that's just all I'm saying. It's like, it's not as simple as Capcom was being stupid. They didn't do this properly. They shouldn't have put those files in there. It's not that simple unless they were planning for it from the beginning and had it all in place. So I even joked. I tried to keep joking about it on Twitter, but I was like, what they should do to stop it is do the opposite. Instead of pulling files out, they should just throw as many files as possible in there. Like, literally, they should get that voice actress who was saying all those things and just say every Street Fighter character possible.
That is very funny.
And I also tweeted that Fat Mega Man has to be included in that list. Like, literally, it has to be Fat Mega Man,
That's what they should say.
Yeah, just call it Fat Mega Man. And just throw in every character on the side. Just be like Victor, Felicia, QB, just throw in every humanly character possible. And, like, if you have, like, files with, like, name of Ryu, like, put in all these initials for every character, and if you do that, then that would be a better way to hide it, I think.
That would be a great way. Yeah. I agree.
Obviously, it would take up more space on the beta, so I don't know if that would be a thing that they could do, but I think that would be
I don't know how resource intensive it is to have a 1 second clip that just says
fair enough. Dude, if they said like Sub-Zero, that would be awesome.
That would be pretty amazing.
So awesome, yeah. Ryu,
Chen. Like, that's it.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's like no data in that.
So I mean, there's just so many easy ways to do it. So, but yeah. So I mean, look. I was joking. I wasn't angry at anyone. I wasn't blaming anyone. There was a part of a seriousness to it that I was thinking that this could affect what happens down the road in the future and such like that. But I wasn't blaming any hackers. I wasn't chastising any hackers or anything like that. So I don't know. But like I said, it just got so big. Like it spiraled out of control. So I was like, all right, fine. I got to stop this. So
okay.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, it sounds like you had quite a day. Anything else to talk about with respect to the leak?
There was a bunch of things I wanted to say, but let's just move on.
Okay, I mean, we just make our own hours here, so however long
there's no point to keep talking about it.
Okay,
so yeah,
right.
there you go.
There
you go. So yeah, pretty much I need to work on my Twitter game. That's pretty much how it was. So
well, I think that is true. I mean, in reading it myself, right. I didn't think it was serious per se, but I did think that that you sort of thought that point, but not in those terms.
Right. So it's funny because I said to you even before the show started, if you tweeted out "Good job, everyone," I think everyone would know exactly that you were being kind of jokey.
Well, maybe so, but I think I would have phrased it maybe a little bit more. Obviously, and I have my jerk ass Twitter face right next to that.
Right, exactly.
My butthole grin.
I just don't think I have that ability to do it. So, in any case,
you can do it. But you do have to spend a few years cultivating a persona as a total asshole.
Yeah, I am tight. I am angry about the whole entire thing. I'm really sad that it came out that way.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay. Well, also this weekend, we got another chance to play some Street Fighter V. We played, it's the new version, it's not the same as the beta, even the returning characters, the existing characters. But on top of that, there's Dhalsim.
Yes.
Dhalsim is in it.
Well, I mean, Zangief wasn't in the beta either, right? So Zangief was still in there.
Okay, so different than the beta, which is different from SCR, which is different from this current one.
Right.
They're all different builds. Anyway, all the characters were in there except for whatever the last one's going to be. Did you play it much?
I played a little bit. I didn't get a chance to play on the floor or anything like that. I think you saw about all of what I played, so... And I really only messed with Zangief and a little bit of Armika, so...
Yeah.
I couldn't connect charge drop kick into stand strong, and I guess we found out afterwards that they took that away.
Apparently that's gone in this build.
I mean, here's a good lesson, right? It seems like every character that we've managed to play that seemed really good is getting slightly... It's like they're starting strong and slowly pulling them back.
Yeah.
It seems like that's their design pattern right now.
It does seem like that. I really hope that will get reverted.
Yeah.
But you're right. It definitely does seem like that. So I played one game of Vega, and I noticed that his Toward Fierce is faster. It's the big old stepping lunge claw thing. I thought that was very good. Great in footsies. Excellent control, very fast, hard to whiff punish. Great for making people want to jump at a range where his stand around has anti-airs excellently. I feel like that's a huge addition to his game. But Close Fierce into Remove Claw is like punishable or it certainly can't be linked out of anymore.
Oh, on hit, you mean?
Yeah.
Like if you do Standing Fierce change, you can't keep going?
Link anymore.
Oh, that was a fun combo.
I know! and on block, it set up a tick grab. Right? Into command grab.
Right. Yeah.
That's gone. So, again, that's one of those things that's fun that you just don't want to see go. So I really hope that will come back. But
yeah, I wonder if they're actually going to revisit and buff everyone a little bit back up.
That's what I hope.
Because, a lot of people have always talked about that they think a better balance method is to make everybody strong.
Yes.
As opposed to nobody strong.
Fact.
So,
Zangief... down strong, EX pile driver. The EX is no longer in range. So he got nerfed a little bit. But he's super good. Oh my god.
Dude, he's so fun.
To be able to do short super with Zangief is just amazing. The feeling is just amazing.
It was weird. I was trying to do low jab, EX SPD. And nothing in my brain could get my muscles to register canceling low jab.
Yeah.
I kept going low jab, EX SPD.
Yeah.
I kept delaying it, and then I would be too far, and I would be like, no, cancel. Dude, it's so weird. Like, my brain couldn't function for that.
I'm not sure exactly how it works. So as far as the short super, crouching short, cancel it into 720. Easy, very easy hit confirm.
Right.
So I did jump in button, crouching short, EX power driver. That worked. But I also did crouching short, EX pile driver, and that didn't work. So I wonder if that is due to range. Like maybe they nerfed the EX's range that significantly, so like not even down short.
Right.
Will be in range for it anymore?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
That is.
But you also did jump roundhouse low short super, which was pretty sick.
I jumped over So I was playing against Hans. This is against Hans, right? Yeah. I was playing Lord Hans, and he whiffed something. I think he was Laura, and he like whiffed her fireball or something. And
he walked up and tried to sweep, and I think you jumped.
Yeah,
and you're like, you're done.
Yeah. So I saw it in the air that he had whiffed something, and I was like, this is going to be the greatest thing I've ever done. So yeah, I got jump roundhouse into the down short super. That was super sick.
Was pretty sick.
And then when we were playing, I played with folks on the floor Sunday, and I got the crouch short super. It was just like meaty, you know what I mean? Like rather than down short EX hand, like now it's super. So
fun.
Anyway, he's very good. I really think he's a super good character. And I'm looking forward to playing him more. I hope he doesn't get nerfed in the way that many of the others are, but it seems like he already has gotten some nerfs. So again, I really hope that will get reverted.
Right.
When it comes to Dhalsim, very strange character.
Yes, but really interesting.
Yeah.
I really, really liked how he was looking.
Same.
Yeah. Obviously he's very different. A lot of people saw the trailer. We talked about it a lot last week. And then tweets came out from Champ and Arturo saying that he was really bad. Like, he felt incomplete. And then you tried him out. You have felt a little different. I know Justin was finding a bunch of really crazy stuff. That's what Hans was telling me, that Justin was finding a bunch of crazy things with Dhalsim.
You know, it's funny that Arturo said that, and maybe he figured it out later, but we were talking with Hans, and he said that Art was doing some really sick stuff with Dhalsim. Remember that? He said that Art seemed like he had figured out the character better than most people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it comes to whether he's unfinished, it's sort of, if you play him like Street Fighter 4, or really like any previous Dhalsim, he does seem a little bit unfinished because he has this hole in coverage, right? So with Sim, it's important to have ground control, or historically has been important to have ground control. Mm-hmm. You want to force people to jump, you want to anti-air them. Like, that's his entire game.
Right.
So in Street Fighter 5, his ground normals are not as strong as they were before. And in particular, there's this range where it's sort of in between the maximum end of stand medium kick, which is now sort of low, looks sort of like stand short from before, and anywhere closer than that. In previous game, you could press medium kick if you thought somebody was going to jump, or just even there was a possibility. You could rest them on the ground, and if they jumped, you would preemptively anti-air them. Now he doesn't have any buttons that do that.
Right.
So his control of that region is like obviously less. And in addition, because Yoga Fires go with this arc rather than straight ahead unless it's EX. So obviously he has less control there. But if you're in the air, if you're in his Yoga Float, I think it's called, or Levitate maybe.
Right, okay.
The V skill. Then he has all these buttons that hit directly at that spot. That's exactly where they hit.
Right. Okay.
So jump jab is this perfect 45-degree angle to exactly hit that spot. And if somebody tries to jump, you'll knock them. Air strong is just what it is in 4. It's this horizontal thing, and much the same idea. Jump or air roundhouse is an anti-air. It's like his old roundhouse. It's like this angle that goes up.
Gotcha.
So if somebody jumps and you're in this V-skill float, you can anti-air them. I feel like this is a big key to it because it sort of covers what he doesn't have, that ground control that he doesn't have.
When you do Yoga Flame out of the float, does it drop you?
It does drop you.
So that thing was plus on block.
It was plus on block.
Because you could do... You literally did jump Yoga Flame, I let go of the controller, you did jab, and I did not get hit. So it was a true block string.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now, his grounded anti-airs are awesome. In fact, they're kind of ridiculous. They're super good. So from that range, from where you expect people to jump, maybe you want to be grounded. From far range, maybe you want to be grounded. But in between, I think you might want to be airborne. And also when you're airborne, your V-skill float lets you move back and forth much faster than you can on the ground. So I feel like he's a mix of these two. You sort of have to go back and forth between them based on strategy and where the opponent is, and you'll make the mix-up of it.
Right.
So I feel like the way he'll be played is as a stance character almost, sort of just going back and forth, back and forth.
I mean, I also
that sounds very interesting to me.
I think the V trigger is really nice too because that kind of covers that space that you're talking about. Doesn't prevent anyone from moving, but now it makes them tentative for jumping in there.
You're right.
you know, and they take a bunch of white damage. Now all of a sudden your Yoga Sniper jab, which normally would do this much, could do a lot more and stuff like that. So I don't know. I thought he was really awesomely designed.
Me too.
I was really. I mean, like I said, I've hated Dhalsim my whole life, right? And I really like how he is.
Yeah.
I think it's really different, but it's still Dhalsim.
Right.
You know, and yeah. So the biggest thing I think a lot of people who Dhalsim users are complaining about is probably the loss of like standing strong, standing forward, and standing fierce. Like that button that kind of covers that.
Harassy sort of horizontal buttons.
So it's really interesting. His stand roundhouse is like a mix between the fierce and strong. His old fierce.
It's like old fierce.
It's kind of like old fierce, but it has the range of stand strong. I didn't feel like it had the same range of stand fierce, but maybe it did. Maybe it was just because the game is zoomed out a little bit.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah. But just overall, like I said, he felt super interesting to me, and it didn't feel like it was in a way that was kind of like that boring Dhalsim from before, where not using Dhalsim but trying to fight Dhalsim. It's like, I just gotta bait him into hitting a button so I can jump over and catch him off guard, and that's how you fight Dhalsim.
Right. And then he's totally assed out once close.
Right. It doesn't feel that way to me anymore. Now it feels it's kind of like a more active in and active out, you know, kind of thing. So I don't know. He seems super interesting.
He definitely seems like he could be more dynamic. And even up close, he has better tools. His stand short and crouching jab and stand jab all chain.
Yeah.
And they all combo into EX Flame, which puts the opponent at this excellent range. So that's something he's never had. He's never had chainable, hit confirmable combos. Exactly. So that's really nice. Now, he might be bad. I have no idea. And maybe I'm wrong about the stance thing. Maybe he just sucks. But I do feel that we'll need at least more than a weekend to figure it out. So I'm not ready to pronounce one way or the other.
Yeah, and things are going to change anyway.
I'm sure they'll change, yeah.
I mean, outside of Dhalsim, I just want to kind of tack on to what you were talking about. I think Zangief is amazing. Like, I want to main that character so bad now. Like
when you hit me with air pile driver, I could feel the cheesing come out of you. I could feel from sitting next to me. You were just like, ugh.
Air SPD is the best thing ever, dude. Air SPD is the best thing ever.
That was so sick.
It's so good. And then I was watching how you were using the vacuum move, and you would do vacuum SPD, and people started jumping away, and I was just like,
oh yeah, you can definitely get air grab.
I want to vacuum people and then jump air SPD them. Like it's like the ultimate call out.
It is.
Like it's my favorite thing.
It
seriously.
What I love too is that you can cancel stand short or whatever button into V trigger. So what you can do is like crouching short, V trigger, get over here, and then if they're trying to jump out, you can just do buttons. They just buttons them.
Right.
And if you see that they're blocking, cool, get back here. If not, hit confirm super or whatever.
And the craziest thing is V trigger is not even one-time use.
No.
Like, it goes away faster if you hold it, if it spins more. But if you suck them in one time and they jump away, you can suck them in again.
3 times.
Yeah. Oh, so you got 3 times. Okay. Yeah, dude, he's super.
Keith is so good.
He's so fun in this game. He looks really fun. I mean, he felt really fun to me. So I feel like,
and being able to do forward fierce right through somebody's wake up dragon punch was like the sickest call out.
Well, it was back fierce, right? The armor one or the
That's
headbutt?
forward fierce. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's neutral fierce. Neutral fierce. Neutral charge fierce right through.
And that thing reaches so far.
Yeah.
If you charge the fierce all the way, he punches really far. Like, I hit someone, and it was, like, way further away than I thought it should have been. It was armored, and I get a soft knockdown on it so I can advance, and it pushes them into the corner even more.
I think it's plus on block, too.
Yeah, I couldn't get punished.
I did it point blank, and then I immediately did pile driver, and the pile driver whiffed. I think they're still in block stun. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, and he has a parry.
No, reversal specials don't break armor.
Yeah, there's no such thing as armor breaker in this game. There's no such thing. It's not even a...
Yeah, I mean, presumably if you have like a multi-hit wake up DP, then it won't work like that. But with Ryu, when Lord Hans did medium dragon punch, I was like, BAM! Anyway, you can tell that I'm excited for it.
Dude, he is the character I'm by far most excited for right now. So I want to play so much Zangief in any case.
About Dhalsim, you can check out on Reddit r/Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Who put it up? Zacho Live put it up, a big rundown of Dhalsim thoughts. He tested Dhalsim way more extensively than I did, way more than most people did. And he took a bunch of videos too, so in case you're interested, there's a post on reddit.com/r/Street Fighter.
Right.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, it was actually interesting. I played a little bit of Laura too, so I was like, okay, she's in your face. She's got a command throw. She's got this really cool fireball set up.
Yeah.
I didn't really like her all that much.
Yeah?
She didn't feel that comfortable to me, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I played Defeat Lee.
Uh-huh.
And he was doing cool stuff with her, I felt. Like, he just was... It was a very offensive style. It was just hit confirming into whatever her elbow is, and then it was a pure mix-up between command grab, which beat Geef's command grab in that situation.
Okay.
Or more normals. You know, so it was really good, I thought, but just very, very offensive.
Cammy, dude, I don't know if I can keep playing Cammy, dude. She's like the one character that seems least interesting to me right now. So.
Still seems boring, unfortunately, but I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else about Street Fighter V to discuss?
Well, I mean, there's some other news, but we can get to it later on. Yeah, so we'll get to it later on. What I kind of want to talk about, actually, you brought this up, is just how much Marvel seems to have changed.
Yeah, I think that this is an interesting topic. For a while, Marvel 3 seemed like it was stagnant.
Yeah, it was like 0 teams, Virgil teams, done.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And most of the same people kept on winning. You know, for quite a while, it was like the same half dozen folks, and they won everything.
Champ, Christie, Justin just won everything.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So for a while, it seemed like I felt like that was part of why people were talking about its demise. It was just felt stagnant. But in the last half year, that has not been the case at all. I really feel like it's been changing strongly, and this is sort of as somebody who I consider myself more of an outsider of that scene now. You know, for a long time I was playing it and commentating and very heavily involved, but now I'm just sort of watching it. And this past weekend, Chris G lost Cosmos
at UMACon
in the mirror match.
Yes.
In the Mordu mirror match, and B won Canada Cup over folks like Filipino Champ. And down in Brazil, Paulo beat whoever with Jill Spencer Doom.
Right, but Jill on point.
Right. Yeah, he won the Treta tournament. Yeah. So, and of course KBR won.
Evo.
Oh, Ray was there as well, and he lost to B.
Right.
So it really feels like it's changing.
Right, so the Frank West team won, and then not even players necessarily who are winning tournaments, but always placing high. Like Scamby has Team Resident Evil.
Yeah, he was top 8 at Canada Cup.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
with Nemesis.
Yeah, Nemesis, and there's just a lot of really interesting teams now being played.
Yeah, what about like Ryan in Las Vegas with the crazy
the Chun-Li Phoenix team. Yeah. He was winning a lot too. Yeah.
Very interesting. You know, really.
So it's just you're right. It just feels like this game has reached another level. It's I almost want to call it like CVS2 was in Japan. You know how CVS2 just got to the point where it was like, oh, Viism Bison, game over.
Right.
And now, like, in Japan, like, there's crazy Geese, Dhalsim, Maki teams.
A group.
Oh, A group. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And for quite a while in Japan, the best player was Io with Dhalsim, Maki, Rolento.
Right, exactly.
Right, so
it's starting to feel like that with Marvel now. I don't know if it's just a lot of the top players are getting complacent, or it's that situation again where the Zero and the Virgil strategies are so honed now. You know what they're capable of, and you're just not scared of their mix-ups anymore. You study so much on how to beat them, and in fact, Zero just hasn't been doing well at a lot of tournaments. Like Virgil has been placing high still.
Yeah.
But we just don't see a lot of Zeros anymore.
Well, I saw Hanzo post on the Marvel Reddit, which I subscribe to, and he had a post that was like, is Virgil actually that good? And he had like these bullet points for like, I'm not sure about this. And people in the rest of the thread like disagreed, but it's an interesting question. He has some issues.
I mean, it's completely valid, because the thing about it is Virgil's weakness always is, even as, like, because a lot of people use him as anchor, right, because of Dark Virgil, but he's terrible on incoming. He has one of the
Yeah,
weakest incomings. Like if the opponent doesn't mess up, like Viper and lockdown assist will kill Virgil on incoming every single time. There's just a lot. The character. Yes, he's super buff, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Hanzo was saying the character's bad. It was just saying, is he as good as people think? So.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
But yeah, as you said, he has to think more about it. So.
It could even be one of those situations where he's basically Cable in MVC2.
Right, okay.
Which he's, or Old Sagat. Old Sagat's not even the best character in the game, but he's so oppressive that he shuts down a certain chunk of the cast, right? Cable shuts down a chunk of the cast, right? But he's not the best character in the game, right?
That's
so it just could be one of those situations where, yes, Virgil is probably overall the most effective character. But even then, I almost feel like that role kind of falls for Doom. Because he's like he's like on every team.
Everybody's Doom. Yeah. Like we were talking about Jill, right? Like that team worked because he could hard tag to Doom and do damage.
Yeah. I mean, but the nice thing is, obviously, with Jill at point, you still had to hit them.
Yeah.
And it's impressive that he was able to get away for that. So.
And he also had an X Factor comeback to win the tournament with Jill. So.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It was cool. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting point, to discuss a little bit, because it does feel like the game has been changing, and that's awesome, because hopefully that means that it'll help keep interest in it, and it was very hype at Capcom Cup, by the way.
Yeah, Canada Cup, right?
Canada Cup.
But yeah, I mean, kind of where it's just showing that a lot of people are still researching it, still learning. I had made the comment a long time ago that I felt like there's still so much to learn about the game, just none of it beat Virgil or Zero. But maybe it does. Maybe it does. So
maybe it
looks really good.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, those are some of the.
That's some rambling that we do.
Interesting topics, but yeah, obviously this weekend was an awesome event. So
yeah,
we should take a break, and when we come back, we can talk all about Canada Cup and just the craziness.
We'll talk about Youmacon as well.
All right, be right back.